All right, my friends, Wes Spencer back with you again. Thanks for stopping by on my channel. If you're interested in Pi Network, go check out my Pi Network playlist. I've got everything. I have gone from being a very much a critic of Pi Network into really believing and loving its mission. It's a great crypto platform that's introduced literally millions of people across the world into crypto for the first time, all because it's phone-based and its accessibility is so easy. Is Pi going to be successful? Well, none of us know for sure, but the adventure is there, and it's been so fun to follow the Pi Network progress, and I'm a huge fan of what they're doing. So first thing I'm going to let you know, I did not get a pop-up on my Pi Network when I checked into mine to carve out my mining for the day. Some people have said they get those. I went to Pi, I mined today, I just checked in, and that's all I did. I literally did nothing else. And I didn't get a pop-up, and I was just thinking, I'm going to go over to the Pi browser and just see if KYC is available. So then I went over to Pi browser, I opened it up. The KYC option, of course, is at the bottom. If you tap that, for me, every single time except for today I've gone through this, guess what's happened? It's always like, sorry, we don't have availability for you. Well, this time it actually worked, it came up. So why am I saying that? I'm just letting you know, for me personally, I didn't get a pop-up. I guess there was an opening and it was ready for me and I was able to jump into it, but I actually didn't get any kind of notification. So let me show you what this looks like to get started. I'm going to share my screen out quite a bit throughout this process, but I'm going to have to unshare it a few times, of course, because we're doing KYC, and I'm not going to leak all my personal information out on YouTube, right? At least not intentionally. So this is what just like you see it right here. So that's what you're going to see. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select my territory. Of course, I'm in the United States, so I'm going to type in United States. There we are. ID type. Now, I have got my ID right here. I'm not going to show it all to you, but there is my ID. This is my state driver's license here in Florida that I'm going to be using. So I do have a passport. I could use that as well, apparently, but I think driver's license is probably the safest to pick, given that they're very common, and KYC, the capability of KYC is probably built more commonly on a driver's license. I don't know that for sure, but I'm definitely going to choose to use this. Now, a couple check marks here. I consent to allow Social Chain. Social Chain is the parent company of Pi Network. That's who owns the Pi Network. It's the Nicholas and the rest of the core team. So we do have to consent to allowing them to see some of this information. I'm gonna hit this little button right here because I'm curious. We're doing all of this together, so I want to see what it says. So they're going to collect information such as identify documents, selfie images, and video, and may collect proof of address, source of fund declaration. Okay, so I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to give you my input on all this, but it looks pretty standard. So you're going to have to agree to this if you're going to go through KYC. I am 18 years or older. I'm going to hit the information button on this. If you're younger than 18 years old, please wait until our app provides a parental consent mechanism in the near future. So a lot of people have asked me that question of, can my minor, or I am a minor, I'm under 18, can I get involved in this? And so there's nothing that stops you from mining, but it looks like the KYC capabilities are going to eventually have to be upgraded by the core team to allow those that are under 18 to get through the process. So that's interesting to see that right there. And that kind of makes sense. And then I agree to pay 1 Pi to validators. The reason for that is, if people are going to agree to validate, it's going to cost some amount of money, some amount of funds for them. It should anyway, for them to spend their valuable time. So yep, no problem. I'm willing to do that. So now that I've got all those through, I'm going to hit let's go. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of my photo. So I have my photo right down here on my standing desk. So I'm going to take a picture of that. And so here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to, it shows you what a good and a poor picture is. So it wants me to take it landscape mode, which makes sense. It wants to have good lighting and contrast. And right here at my desk with all my lights up, this is actually should be a great place for me to take it. So definitely don't have a poor picture, right? Make sure you go into a well-lit room to be able to do this. Sometimes actually sunlight is bad. It can be too much of a glare. So I'm gonna hit I'm ready for this, and it should, so it's gonna ask access to the camera. So I am going to hit add front photo. And here we are. You can actually see my screen right here. So I'm not going to bring up, of course, I better turn that off. I'm not going to bring that up. And I am bringing up my ID. I am going to take a picture of it. It looks nice and clear where I'm at. and I'm going to hit use photo. So there we are. And so I can take a look at this, and it does say make sure ID is in the horizontal position. So since I took it with my phone kind of this way, it's not showing the right way. So there is a button that lets you rotate it. So I'm going to rotate the image, and now it is correct. Now keep in mind, this raw image does have all of my driver's license information, my address, my date of birth, my driver's license number. There's definitely personal information that's there. So just keep that in mind. Now I need to take a back photo. So I'm going to flip my ID around. That has like the mag stripe and the barcodes on it, all that kind of stuff. So same thing. I'm going to take a picture like I did before. The picture is taken. Same thing. I want to make sure that it's in the horizontal position. So mine was taken incorrectly. So I'm going to rotate the image. I can't show you that, of course. And then I'm going to hit next step. So I hit next step, and it says, please enter your data in the same language that your ID is written. Example, if you use an ID written in Korean, you should fill your name and surname in Korean as well. So, okay, I'm American, so I'm English. So what I'm going to do is still can't share my screen with you, unfortunately, but it does give, actually I can share this part. So let's come back. Let me show this to you. So now that if I were to scroll up, you'd see my ID picture that's there. So I'm not going to show that to you, but now I can put in some information. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to pop in my full given name. And the next thing it's going to ask me is my gender. So I'm going to choose male. It does have male, female, and prefer not to say. So I don't know how important all of that is. Next thing it's going to do is my birth date. So I am going to pop in my birth date here, which I am not going to tell you what it is, so you don't know how old I am, right? So I'm going to hit bring this up, get the year on there and the day. There we are. And then address. So I've got to pop in my home address. So let me do that. Now for my state, it doesn't bring up a list like an abbreviation codes or anything. So I'm just writing in Florida. So hopefully that's going to be fine. Pop in my zip code, my country of residence, which I already selected. I'm doing that again. So United States. And then my document ID number. So I'm pretty sure that just means my license number. So I'm going to go and put that in there. So we've gone through. I hit upload. I'm going to show you what I see now. So now I have identity confirmation. So it's going to perform a liveness check to make sure that I'm a real person. No audio will be recorded. Please follow the steps displayed on the screen and make sure it all works. Okay, so it needs to have good lighting, which obviously it's in my YouTube studio, so it should be pretty good lighting. So this should all work. So I'm going to hit I'm ready. And it's going to say allow the app here to access to your camera. Hit allow. Of course, I'm going to need that. And then it says, are you ready for a liveness test? We're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to do this live. So I'm going to hit, or at least live on the video. So here I look in the camera. Get ready to take a picture or photo. There we are. Okay. Looks like that was pretty simple. So I'm going to unshare real quick on my screen while this uploads all the data. So some validator out there is going to be like, holy crap, I got Wes Spencer's. This is so cool. Or they will have no idea who I am, which is probably unlikely because I think here in the States, I'm probably one of the larger Pi influencers that's out there. So that's kind of cool. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to review my information. I can't show you this screen because it's got all my information, but it says application review. So I'm just going to take a quick pass at this because I don't want to fail my KYC and be that guy. So I'm just checking to make sure everything is correct, and you do want to make sure it matches what's on your license plate. So if you've recently moved or something like that, you're going to have to get your license updated so that it'll match all that. Okay, now mine says extraction of a picture of your face from the ID photo failed. Please upload a new photo. Let me show you what it's saying. So for me, this failed. I'm not sure why. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to go to re-upload photo, and I'm going to try it again. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Okay, that time it liked it. Maybe it's just with the way the lights are, but I guess like coming in here, the light is a little bit flatter. Over here, maybe just all my lighting setup is just, it doesn't work well for this. Who knows? So I'm going back through application review. Once again, I'm going to hit next, and this time it worked. Okay, great. So I'm going to share. So there's a few things I can share here on this screen. So Here we go. This is the question everyone asked, is it truly masking your information? So it had to upload everything to the servers so that it could then mask it. So you have to be okay with that. They do delete that later. And what's going to be sent is this right here, is the redacted information. So it says, please note that I'm a cybersecurity guy and I'm a huge privacy nerd. So I want to just double check and make sure this all is correct. So a couple things that it didn't redact. It didn't redact the word Scott that's on there. I'm okay with that. But it seems to have redacted pretty much everything else. So it's just making sure it is alive. Now I'm going to unshare for just a second here because the next couple images are, it shows the back of my ID. I don't want to show that. So that is completely unredacted. And I guess I'm okay with that. I don't really, the barcode is just an authenticator. So I think I'm okay with that. Let me share it again. So here's my mugshot of an ID. Don't you love that? I was having a bad day when that picture was taken. We'll just leave it at that, okay? So there's that. Here is my picture of me right there, not being very smiley, but it is me. And I think it's it, right? So I'm going to submit and pay. Submit application. It's irreversible. Yes. So the data is accurate. Let's pop that out there. I get a nice thumbs up and it's good. So thank you for submitting your KYC application. You'll be notified about the status of your application very soon. If your application is approved, you can apply to become a KYC validator in the future. Will I be a validator? Probably so. I don't know that I'm going to do a video of that. If I do, if there's very little I will show, again, just because of privacy, I don't think it's a good idea for me to make a video of me showing me validating other people, even if it's just an image that comes across. Just don't think I'd do that, but I might show you how the process works. We'll see. So there we have it. I'm gonna hit see status, and this will probably take some time, right? I don't know how many actual KYC validations are being completed at any point in time, but here it is. It says mine is it's applied and review in progress. So final thoughts on this. A lot of thoughts, right? It was super easy. If anyone's doubted whether KYC is real and it's just like Pi core team planted people saying, yeah, KYC is never coming, I'm proof that that's not true. I actually went through it. I'm just a regular pioneer like you and I. Even though I do talk to the core team on some occasions, I have no extra benefit that you have. So I had to wait my turn in line just like you did. That process was relatively painless. It did have some problems with my original smiling image. I'm guessing I'm just going to blame that on my studio with the lights. It's not standard the way that's set up, so I can excuse that. But it was really pretty simple. The redaction worked really well. So I think this KYC process is pretty awesome. In fact, if it works well, keep in mind, this is the very first KYC that I know about in human history that is completely decentralized and has the capability, or at least it should have the capability of scaling to millions of users. That's a game changer, my friends. That's a big deal. I could see this potential capability being used by many different open source platforms, or even better yet, if I'm the